They said the streets would never forgive him. They said the industry would turn its back the moment the cell doors clanged shut. But today, Pooh Shiesty is out, and the world is watching. Rappers, fans, and rivals alike are holding their breath, waiting for the first move, the first word, the first line that could shatter reputations or crown a king. Every lyric, every flex, every glance is under a microscope. And what drops in First Day Out isn't just music, it's a warning. Secrets are spilled, alliances tested, and betrayals exposed. The question isn't if he made it back, it's if anyone else survives what comes next. The cell doors clang behind him one last time, and the world outside didn't even realize it yet. Pooh Shiesty was walking free, but freedom never comes quietly in the streets he left behind. For months, whispers filled the corners of social media, rappers talking, fans speculating, and haters praying for a misstep. And now, in the first hours of his release, the tension was electric. Everyone knew one thing: First Day Out wasn't just a song. It was a declaration, a warning, and a spotlight on secrets that had been buried in silence for far too long. He stepped into the studio, still adjusting to the air outside, still feeling the weight of the walls he left behind. And then the beat dropped, like a heartbeat echoing through the city, and every line he spat was sharper than anyone expected. "Yo, daddy, I get her, but you ain't. You just like Bronny James." Those words ricocheted across timelines, sparking debates, memes, and viral clips. People laughed, people nodded, people gasped. Academics called it one of the hardest First Day Out songs in recent memory, praising how Shiesty flexed with precision while making sure the streets understood he had returned on his own terms. But the praise wasn't universal. Whack 100 wasn't holding back. Social media blew up with claims that Shiesty wasn't solid, that he had allegedly cooperated to get out early. And the chatter was relentless. Screenshots of documents, tweets circling the claims, fans forwarding every PDF they could find. Every notification felt like a small explosion on his phone, a reminder that every step he took outside those bars would be scrutinized. And yet, Shiesty remained unshaken. He knew the game, he knew the players, and he knew that hate followed talent like shadows at midnight. "They hate me," he said during a call, voice low but firm. "But they got to hate you differently." There was no anger, no panic. Just the calm of someone who had survived far worse, who had spent nights plotting his return not in whispers but in bars that could shake the whole city. His fans watched, glued to live streams, waiting for any slip. Shiesty didn't give them one. He laughed off a girl who didn't know who Lil Durk or F was. He faced Rakai on a stream and made his allegiance clear without a hint of hesitation. Team loyalty wasn't up for debate. Every nod, every phrase, every line of his music was a chess move, calculated, deliberate, and designed to remind the streets that he had returned, and he had returned untouchable. And behind the headlines, behind the viral clips, there was the other side of the story. The infamous green McLaren that had haunted detectives, the Louis Vuitton bag that had once been evidence, the details of a crime that nearly defined him forever. It wasn't just flexing. It was history, a legacy intertwined with danger, and a cautionary tale for anyone who underestimated him. Fans dissected every post, every photo, every lyric for clues, hungry for a glimpse of the man who had survived prison and emerged sharper, smarter, and more dangerous than before. Every beat of First Day Out felt like a pulse of the streets themselves, a reminder that loyalty, betrayal, and survival were all part of the same game. The city listened. The industry watched. And somewhere, whispers turned into murmurs that maybe, just maybe, Shiesty's return was more than a comeback. It was the beginning of a reckoning that nobody saw coming. And as the last chorus hit, the camera of the internet zoomed in, everyone waiting for the reaction that would tell the story no one could ignore. Because one thing was certain: the streets don't forget, the industry doesn't forgive, and Pooh Shiesty's First Day Out wasn't just music. It was a message. As the hype from First Day Out rippled across the streets and feeds, the chatter grew darker, sharper, and far more personal. What nobody was talking about openly was the storm brewing beneath the surface. Alliances tested, secrets exposed, and whispers of betrayal that could unravel everything Shiesty had fought to protect. Fans were dissecting lyrics like detectives, trying to piece together the truth between bars. But the real story wasn't just in the lines. It was in the shadows of every handshake, every DM, every FaceTime call he had with the ones who once called themselves his brothers. It started small. Screenshots leaked. Conversations meant to be private suddenly appeared in group chats across the rap community. Rappers, who once nodded in solidarity from afar, now questioned loyalties. "Yo, you really writing for Dirk?" Someone asked in a text Shiesty never intended to leave private. "'Cause YB's pulling up, and people are jumping ship." The tension was palpable. The industry had no loyalty. It only moved for power, clout, and survival. And now, Shiesty was in the eye of the storm. He faced it with the calm of a man who had learned the hard way. "I don't play that," he told a close associate. "I'm with my people. Everything else? Noise." But the noise wouldn't stop. Leaks, screenshots, and rumors fanned the flames. Even allies were unsure, and the whispers of snitching resurfaced, this time louder, darker. Social media erupted with claims that he had given the feds information, and the industry's chatter turned into a chorus of judgment. Some rappers called him out directly, others did it behind closed doors. But one thing became clear: the game had changed, and survival was no longer just about talent. It was about trust, perception, and timing. Then came the revelations. Court documents, quietly released, painted a clearer picture than any rumor ever could. The robbery, the McLaren, the bag of cash, it wasn't just headlines anymore. Shiesty had made critical mistakes during the crime, mistakes that detectives had pieced together using every post, every flex, every detail he had left in plain sight. The streets were whispering. He had left clues on purpose. But why? Fans speculated, skeptics mocked, and insiders debated. Some said he wanted attention. Others believed it was strategic, a play only someone from the streets could fully understand, and the music reflected it all. Lines aimed at Moneybag and others weren't just boasts. They were accusations, subtle hints of deception, and calls for accountability. Lyrics like, "Street guys getting tummy tucks, I told you these rappers lame," weren't casual punches. They were carefully placed shots, aimed at those who had turned fake while he was locked up. Behind the bars, Shiesty had watched, waited, and now, through his art, he was revealing everything he had seen. Every move, every betrayal, every fleeting loyalty, none of it escaped him. Fans online exploded with theories. Some claimed to have seen leaked messages between Shiesty and other rappers, private exchanges hinting at plans, warnings, and alliances. The rumors painted a citywide chess game where every move mattered. Every misstep could cost more than reputation. It could cost safety. And Shiesty, now free, was making sure everyone remembered exactly who he was, and who he would remain loyal to. The tension peaked during a late-night stream. Shiesty's voice was calm but deliberate, answering questions that weren't just about music. They were about survival, reputation, and respect. "Look, I told you what I could do," he said, leaning back, eyes scanning the room. "I ain't here for excuses. Ain't nobody gonna test me while I'm home." Every viewer felt it, the unspoken warning. Every rapper watching knew the stakes had shifted. Loyalty wasn't optional anymore. And somewhere, across the city, messages were being sent, plans were being reconsidered, and the next moves were already in motion. By the end of part 2, the city felt smaller, the industry louder, and Shiesty larger than life. Secrets had been spilled, allegiances questioned, and the line between trust and betrayal had blurred completely. The stage was set for what came next, because in this world, survival wasn't just about freedom. It was about who could navigate the treacherous waters without sinking first. And just when everyone thought they understood the story, one final message arrived, a whisper of something darker, something nobody saw coming, a secret that would make the streets hold their breath again. By the time the city caught its breath, Pooh Shiesty had already rewritten the rules of the game. The whispers of betrayal, the leaked messages, the tension across the industry, they all culminated in one undeniable truth. He had returned stronger, smarter, and untouchable. But with power comes consequences, and the aftermath of first day out was heavier than anyone expected. The streets weren't quiet. Rappers who once shrugged at his name now hesitated before a single post. Fans dissected every lyric, every flex, every social media post, searching for the tiniest clue that could expose a weakness. And while some hailed him as untouchable, others whispered that no one survives this level of scrutiny unscathed. It wasn't just about talent anymore. It was about trust, perception, and timing. Then the calls started. Private DMs, encrypted messages, whispers from people who had never been brave enough to speak in public. "You can't trust them all," one message read. "Some of them will flip before the ink dries on your next line." Shiesty read each one, carefully, deliberately, with the patience of a man who had survived cages and courtrooms. Every warning, every hint, every threat became part of the strategy. He wasn't just listening, he was calculating, anticipating, and preparing for the inevitable moves of those who underestimated him. And the fallout was immediate. Some rappers publicly called him out, questioning loyalty, demanding accountability. Others silently shifted alliances, uncertain how far his reach extended. Social media became a battlefield. Every comment section, every thread, every clip of first day out turned into a war zone. Fans debated endlessly. Did he snitch? Did he really play the game right behind bars? Could anyone survive the storm he had unleashed? The answer was clear to those paying attention. Shiesty had survived the storm, and now the storm was his to command. But the biggest revelation was personal. Somewhere between the leaks, the reactions, and the industry drama, Shiesty revealed the truth that few had dared to say aloud. He hadn't given up secrets of others, he had only told the truth about himself. The proffered deal he struck with the feds wasn't betrayal, it was strategy. He admitted mistakes, owned them, and accepted the consequences. The streets murmured. Fans nodded. And rivals? They were forced to reckon with the cold reality that Shiesty had not only survived, but he had done so on his own terms. And yet, as the city absorbed this, the emotional weight hit hardest for those closest to him. Family, friends, and real allies watched as the narrative shifted, understanding that survival had a cost. Loyalty had to be measured in actions, not words. And every move going forward would carry the shadows of this first day back. It wasn't just music or fame, it was a lesson in trust, power, and the fragility of perception. By the time night fell, the reactions hadn't stopped. Tweets were being written, DMs forwarded, messages shared. Leaked conversations hinted at plans, alliances, and rivalries that had only begun to unfold. Every line of first day out became a reference point, every flex a declaration. The city knew one thing: Shiesty wasn't just a rapper returning from prison. He was a force the streets had underestimated, a player who had flipped the board, and a man whose story was far from over. And just as people began to breathe, thinking the storm had passed, a single encrypted message arrived. Its contents were unknown, but the weight was unmistakable. Whoever sent it knew the game, knew the rules, and knew exactly how to test him. The streets held their breath, the industry waited in silence, and the world realized one chilling truth: Pooh Shiesty's first day out wasn't the end of the story. It was only the beginning. If you thought first day out was just another song, think again. Every line, every flex, every viral clip has been a warning, a message, a declaration that the streets and the industry can't ignore. Pooh Shiesty didn't just return, he returned to reclaim power, expose truths, and test loyalties. But the story isn't over. The whispers, the leaked messages, the unseen moves behind the scenes, they're only just beginning to surface. Fans are already dissecting every beat, every lyric, searching for the next secret, the next twist, the next betrayal. And you know as well as I do, someone's move is coming, and it will shake everything you thought you knew about the game. If you want to hear the leaked DMs, the private calls, and the messages that no one else dares to show, comment below and stay tuned. Because this might be the end of one chapter, but what happens next changes everything.